Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to the first post 2025 NFL Draft episode here on the best football podcast on all of the world, and especially all of North America, because we got some friends down south, all of North America. What is that? The Ballin In Burgundy podcast. Yeah, myself, Andrew, and Chris, we are back once again. Fellas, how we doing?
Doing good. We just had the draft, guys.
Woo.
It
Word,
actually just
word.
happened.
Hey, it's we, as y'all know, here on BIB, we take the draft very seriously. It's the most wonderful time of the year for
We're not
us.
at the season yet.
Oh,
You
it's
can't
it,
say
oh
that.
tr-
We're not at
oh tr-
the
that
season
that
yet.
that for me that's draft season, maybe. For me, that's draft season. And we're gonna cover all five of our draft picks and give it grades on the individual picks as well as the draft class. We're gonna take on the undrafted free agents and the rookie minicamp invites because there is one polarizing name on that list that we're going to get into. And I want to touch on the Shedeur Sanders incident before we get into it. Guys, before we get into anything, don't don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here on BIB. We're sitting at 535 subscribers. I cannot thank y'all enough for joining us on this ride the past 2 or so years. Myself, Justin, Andrew, and Chris have been on. So, like I said, it takes 2 seconds of your time to subscribe. It's absolutely free and supports us here at the channel. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ballin In Burgundy Podcast, Twitter at BIB Podcast. For any live updates, Twitter and Instagram are going to be your best friends. You can click all those links down in the description, or they're going to be right here underneath my somewhat somewhat growing biceps.
Hey,
Hey,
like
hey, been in the gym a little bit. Been in the
flex
gym a
it.
little bit. Yeah, come on now. But and first, I also want to say thank you to everyone who tuned into the draft live stream. I was on for the 3 hours and 50 minutes. Andrew popped in for a bit. Justin popped in for a bit. Chris popped in. I think popped in for a bit. Big Herb. Shout out to him.
Dude,
Off Defense podcast YouTube channel. He popped in for a bit. It was an absolute blast here on YouTube and then on the Instagram live stream. Shout out to everyone who came in. I had a lot of fun this year. I think I had more fun this year than we did the past 2 years, just based on just fan interactions. And I was going strong for 3 hours and 50 minutes by myself for a good bit. So, boy, felt a little. I had to go to bed and cancel StreamYard before it charged me $90 a year. But we're gonna get into that later. But guys, let's get into our 2025 NFL draft class. Starting off with round one, pick 29. We sticked and picked. There were a lot of really good players left on the board. Mike Green, Donovan Ezeraku, Trey Amos, Nick Scorton, Nick Emenwari. There were a lot of good Travion Henderson, a lot of good names left on the board. But not we, General Manager Adam Peters and Dan Quinn selected Oregon offensive tackle Josh Connerly Jr. All right. Those 6'4", 311 pounds per his RAS score, but is one of the best offensive tackles, not just in this draft class, but he was a projected top 10 pick next year. So, as much as the reactions you guys got from me and Chris, and I think Andrew, when it came to our time in the draft, where we were shocked and appalled, we talked about it, we all slept on it. I was like, you know what? Heat of the moment, that's all me. Thought about it, slept on it. I'm cool with the pick. What are y'all's draft grades and why on the Josh Connerly Jr. draft pick at pick 29?
I'm not gonna lie, when the commissioner announced Josh Connerly as our first round draft pick, I was crashing out. I was not happy in the slightest. I was throwing things, I was yelling, I was furious because here's the deal. We need an edge badly. And I thought for sure with the talent still at 29 that that's where we were going, either with Mike Green or Donovan Ezeraku. Mike Green ended up falling much further than that, which was
Yeah.
really surprising. Donovan Ezeraku, he got picked in the second, right?
Yep. He got paid mid second by the Cowboys.
Yeah. Um, but I have since reconsidered my take on it a little bit, and I've done a little bit more research into it. Connerly is a very, very good offensive tackle. And I knew that before. And what I like about the pick is that we are now protecting the reason that we did so well last season. And we are mitigating the reason that we lost in the playoffs, which was offensive line.
Yep.
Protecting Jaden honestly should be a huge, huge, huge priority next year if we want to have the same type of success.
Right.
And our current offensive line, yeah, we traded for Tunzel. So that's sort of made me think that we don't need a tackle as much. But it sounds like we're going to move Coleman from right tackle to guard,
Yep.
right? And then there may even be a little bit of flexibility with Connerly.
Hmm.
So now that we have that flexibility and much more talent on the offensive line, I'm a lot more comfortable with this pick.
Yep. Chris, how about you?
Where do I start? Where do I start?
I have
Oh
a feeling
boy.
this is about to be a
Let's
lot more
see.
negative than
Yep.
me.
Oh God. God, I don't know what to say because yeah, we get a guy to protect Jaden. I get that. We get a guy to protect Jaden. Um, let's be real. Yes, we had 3 turnovers in the NFC title game. Part of the reason we lost. Also part of the reason we lost. Our defense decided to uh not check in at all. Um, I feel like we should have went. Feel like we should have went defense. Should have it either should have been a defensive end or a corner, but I mean we got a corner in the second round, so like it doesn't matter. So really, it should have been defensive end because we also lost Dante Fowler Jr. back to Dallas, who by the way had 10.5 sacks here. Don't know if y'all knew that or not.
Oh, we did.
Um, so it's kind of gonna kill us if a little bit cuz but there is a rumor however of maybe us trying to go for a defensive end like Zadarius Smith, Von Miller,
Hmm.
Preston Smith, somebody
Some of
at
that.
least for a 1 year deal to fill it in, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I have mixed feelings.
How would you grade the overall pick? Because after I slept on it and did some thinking, I gave it a B plus.
I'm going to agree with that. B
I'll give it
plus.
a I'll give,
All right.
I'll give it a B.
Okay.
It's better than I
I'm
thought
not gonna
Chris would give it.
be
Yeah.
too much of an I'm not gonna be too much of an asshole and say C or D because the guy isn't that bad. Because I did talk to my brother and he was like, "This guy could have very well easily been a top 10 pick next year." And
Top
Exactly.
five is what
so
I was hearing.
Yeah.
I give it a B.
Okay. You know what? We'll take a B round here. We'll start with a B. That's a nice baseline to start with. And then we get down into day two. We couldn't live stream for day two. I was at a church event from 3 o'clock to 10, so I was a little bit busy, or else I would have live streamed day two. But we saw some names come off the board. Donovan Ezuraku to Dallas. Both Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins to the Texans because they have an Iowa State wide receiver fetish down in Houston. You see names Trayvon Henderson and Quidshawn Judkins within back-to-back picks go to the Patriots and to Cleveland. I'm waiting for the names. Mike Green gets taken round 2 pick 59 to the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, who's left? There was a few guys. Josiah Stewart was left. Trey Amos was left. Guys like that. I said round 2
Jack
pick
Sawyer.
Jack Sawyer, JT. There were a lot of names left. Round 2 pick 61. The Washington Commanders selected Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss, 6 foot, 195 pounds, ran a 4.4340, which was one of the fastest in the draft, and he's one of the top 25% of cornerbacks from 1987 to 2025 in terms of RAS scores. He scored a 837. So you're going to see a pattern here soon. I was much, much more okay with this pick because you guys saw some of our draft picks. I had him going first round.
Mhm.
So I thought we got extreme value for an extremely good player. Chris, I'll start with you because remember I'm going to alternate these. Chris, what were your thoughts on the Amos pick at 61?
At 61, Trey Amos. You know what? I don't mind it. I really don't. This is a guy who is physical, and I like a guy that is physical on defense because we need that. Yes, we have that in Lattimore and Sanders still, but we need that third guy, and we got it. Got it in Trey Amos. This man is going to be physical. This man is going to be, I have a good feeling he's going to be good with us.
And
He's
here's a
going
good
to be
thing.
good.
You want to talk about a good thing before Andrew go? He doesn't immediately have to start either. Sandersill,
Exactly.
Jones, Lattimore. Iganagibi.
Exactly.
So even as your fifth,
He could
he can slide into your four.
he could sit on the bench and just learn if he wanted to. And oh my God, he could be good.
So Chris is excited. Andrew, what do you think, my boy?
First, I'm going to touch on that point. I don't want our second round pick to be sitting on the bench when he could have been a first round pick. I want to see him play.
Oh yeah.
I think he'll be behind Sanistril and behind Lattimore. He probably will be our three. Um, Value wise, this pick was an A plus plus. Necessity wise, for a quarterback position, it was a B. We still
Yeah.
haven't taken an edge yet. If we took edge with at 29, I would say this was an A plus overall pick. But we still need an edge, and there are still two options that I love there, and Josiah Stewart and Jack Sawyer, who are
Yep.
two of my favorite edges for that pick. So I was mad when it wasn't an edge, but he could be really, really, really good.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I was surprised he was still there. Definitely the best talent available. So it was a good pick. If I had to grade it overall, I'm giving it an A minus. The only thing that's not making A plus is that it's not edge, and I'm worried about that position.
All right.
But he's such a talented player. I mean,
Yes.
he could be really, really good for us. So I like
Yeah.
it.
Chris, how would you grade the pick?
I'm not gonna lie, I give it an A minus. I give it an A minus, man. I think this is guy, like I said, he's gonna be physical.
Yeah.
He's gonna be physical. You know
Mhm.
what we call this secondary now? You know what we call this secondary now? Now the hell nah zone.
What? Hold on. So
Oh
so
I
hell
did not
no!
catch that.
That's
well,
what.
first of all, he was
Come on,
tweaking out.
man.
Well, his camera's tweaking out,
Still
so
is.
audio came out like basura. What were you saying, my boy?
We call it the Hail Nah zone.
Okay,
You know, like Hail Mary.
I got you. I got you. You know what? I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it actually.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. I'll give that like a B
Where
minus
did you
because I think it
think
could
I
have
was
been.
going with that?
All I
You
heard
might be
was
generous.
huh. All I heard was huh, and then so I was like hand. What you mean by that? But all right, hail Nazem. I can work with that. I can work with that. With our third round or with our fourth round selection, excuse me, because we did not have a third round pick, because of the Laramie Tunsil and the Debo Samuel trades. Well, the Laramie Tunsil trade, we don't have a third round pick. So think of it as Laramie Tunsil was a third round pick. That's tremendous value, whatever you want to say about it.
Yep.
Round four, pick 128 out of the University of Virginia Tech. So there were a bunch of Hokies left on the board. Brashul Tutton was taken out at the 104th pick to the Jaguars. Tremendous value. Good pick for them. He's the speed that they wanted from because he's a speed piece they were missing because Trevor isn't that fast. We took wide receiver Jalen Lane. Now, I wasn't doing a lot of homework on Jalen Lane because I was doing a lot of homework
Me
on
neither.
other prospects. However, 5'9", 191 pounds, 9.88 hand size, ran an unofficial 4.3440, scored a 9.68 on his RAS test out of 10. He is ranked 112th out of 3,400 receivers from 87 to 25. I am no joke. He is in the top, what is that, 10% of wide receivers from 87 to 2025 of RAS scores. It was a little interesting of the pick, but people are comparing him to a diet Deshaun Jackson. We remember what DJ said for us with that speed. On the call, they're saying you were the top punt and kick returner on our board. So they already have plans for him. Andrew, I'm going to let you kick this off. What did you think?
I like it for that reason that he's going to be a kick returner for us. And he's super fast, run 4.34, right?
Yep, unofficial
Um,
4.34.
I don't know a whole lot else about him. I did more research after the draft, but at the
Right.
time I was a little confused because I'm like, who is this guy? I don't know him. Um, yeah, he's talented, he's fast, and he'll be a really good special teams piece. So, I mean, I'd give it a B plus. I like it.
I'll take it. Chris, what you think?
This is interesting. This is like really interesting. This guy, he kick and punt returner. Okay, yeah, cool. And he's a little slim, more. He's a slim version of a Deshaun Jackson.
Short,
Very interesting.
shorter than me.
Shorter than
Yeah,
all of
very,
us.
very interesting. My grade, I'm gonna give it a B plus because I don't know what to expect of this guy.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to wait. We just gonna have to wait for preseason, but very interesting. Very
All right.
interesting.
All right. So y'all are kind of in the same mode of that B plus kind of grade then?
Yep.
Chris, what about you? You're freezing a little bit, but would you give it a B plus?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, oh, pause while on tongue. Pause. All
Uh,
right. So
yeah.
a lot better than I'm expecting. This one's gonna put a little cause to pause. Round six, because we didn't have a fifth round pick, the Debo trade. So we get down to round six, pick 205. There were still a lot of names I would have liked to seen at this pick, but the Commanders took UCLA linebacker Kane Madrano, 6'2", 222 pounds, ran the fastest 40-yard dash for the linebackers this draft class at a 4.48. He's got the size, he's got the speed, a 38-inch vertical, a 10-foot broad jump. His RAS grade 9.83, which ranks 57th of 3,200 linebackers. 52nd of 3,200. That is a top
That's good.
7%. That's a top 7% linebacker. And if you watch the draft videos, Adam Peters, well, what was he come out of college? A UCLA Bruin. Ken Norton, where did he go to college? UCLA. Madrano, where did we draft him? UCLA. So three generation of Bruins, and they have love and hype for this kid already. He brings the coverage ability and the speed to the linebacking department the way McGee does and should, but he's not as physical as your Luvus of your Wagners. So it gives us a little bit of different depth in the linebacking department. Chris, with that being said and your initial reactions, what were your thoughts on the Madrano pick?
Come get me. I mean, that's what he said,
What he
right? Come
texted,
get me.
come get me.
I like that. I like that. I like that. That's motivation right there. I like that. That's what we need. That's a guy we definitely need on the defense. And I told you that we needed to pick up a linebacker because Bobby Wagner was getting old. He's getting old.
Well, he was on a 1 year deal, but yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Andrew, what about you?
I didn't know him before, but after looking into him after the draft, I like it because it gives us a different, I don't know, different type of linebacker than we currently have.
Hmm.
We got him for his athletic ability and his covering abilities. And we had a lot of problems with linebackers in coverage this last year.
Hmm.
When Bobby was in coverage, it was oftentimes disastrous. We saw them in the playoffs. That's how they got those short passes to go to be very beneficial for them. So I feel like if he's someone that our guys like a lot, we can develop and come in certain situations and play his covering abilities. I'm happy
Yep.
with it.
Yeah. I was a little confused by it, but after, research and whatnot, I am growing to like it and love it. I'm gonna give it a B, just a flat B grade. What are y'all's grades?
B plus, somewhere around there.
Chris?
B minus.
Okay. All right. So we all pretty much agree that it's about a B baseline. Like we're
Yeah.
it's a great
Yeah.
pick, but it's not the greatest pick. And it could have been
Yeah.
a little better. All right, fair enough. And then with our last pick in the 2025 NFL draft, they didn't do a single trade out, which we were expecting some sort of trade out. We were in the boat of trade out of 29, trade out of 61. They said, shh, listen here. And they selected at round seven, pick 245, Ja'Cory Croskett Merritt, running back out of Arizona. You're going to hear this one more time. His Raz report, because he was a top 30 visit. They met him at the Senior Bowl. They met him at the East West Shrine Bowl. 5'10", 208 pounds, ran a 4.45 flat, 40-yard dash, a 41-inch vertical jump, and a 10-foot broad jump. His RAS score, an 829 out of 10, ranks 362 out of 2,100 running backs. Now, don't let the Arizona season fool you. He was screwed by the NCAA for, I think, personal and eligibility reasons. It wasn't really because of injury concerns. If you look at his New Mexico State tape, 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns. He was close to 600 yards, 3 touchdowns in his final 2 games at New Mexico State before he got to Arizona. So, Chris, I'm going to go back to you. Running back at round seven, someone they had their mitts on the entire process. What were your thoughts?
This could be a very interesting pick because it can backfire on you or it could work out for you. I believe it's going to work out. We need somebody to run with B Rob and Austin Eckler. This guy might work out. This guy might work out.
All right. A lot better than I thought. Andrew, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I like him. I never really put much thought and consideration into him just because of his season at Arizona, and I was not aware of the eligibility issues. He had great numbers with New Mexico State, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was a talented player. I wanted us to draft a running back, so it's a position that I feel like we'll need since B. Rob and Eckler is not super sustainable at the moment.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I like it.
And he has plenty of potential to be RB1. He's got the reps for it. He played
He's got a
six
good
years.
ceiling. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I'm gonna give it a B. Again, just a flat B. I think you could address this a little bit earlier or a little bit sooner, but I think because they had their hands around his position and everything the whole draft, and they got their guy, I'm gonna give it a B. What do y'all think?
I'd give it a B. You
Yeah,
took the words from my mouth.
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
gonna say B minus.
B minus? All right.
Yeah.
So overall as a draft class, Connerly, Amos, Lane, Madrano, Krosky, Merritt. Overall draft grades I'm thinking B plus.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep. I
Our
don't.
first two picks were definitely the strong suit of the
Yeah.
draft. Like talent wise. Um, yeah, I think the main concern is just that edge spot.
Yep. And actually, let's touch on that real quick. So Peters and company come out afterwards and say, "Hey, we're gonna address the linebacker. We're gonna address edge position differently and all that." What? And there's two names out there that I kind of want to look at. Free agent edge rusher out of Ole Miss again, and Jared Ivey. He's someone I've had my eyes on for a bit. JT and Josh Taylor's had for a bit. He was a projected late second, early third round pick. His testing wasn't the hottest, but, and I agree with Josh, there's no way he should have gone undrafted. So that would be a UDFA prospect I will look into. The other way, and I think this is how they're going to address it, is with a free agent defensive end. Von Miller,
Yeah.
Preston
Yep.
Smith, Zadarius Smith, Matt Judon. Um, the list I'm going to put on the graphic is going to say Emmanuel Ogba. He just signed with, I believe, the Panthers, so you can forget about his name. Are there any names left in free agency or left as draft prospects you would say I want to see him in a Commander's uniform?
Shedeur Smith. I know a lot of people are saying to trade for Trey Hendrickson, but that doesn't make sense to me when we had the opportunity to get a very talented edge on a rookie deal. I don't want to end up paying Trey Hendrickson tens of millions of dollars. And I mean, it'd be great. It would be a huge addition to this team, but it's just not something that I want to spend that much money on right now. When we just had the opportunity to get someone good on a rookie deal. So Zadarius Smith, very talented free agent that I would love to have on this team. He shouldn't cost too much, um, and would definitely improve our edge position right now.
Chris, what about you?
I'm gonna say either Zadarius Smith or Von Miller just because we need to fill in that hole as of right now. We need to because
Hmm.
otherwise we're just gonna get our asses whipped and our asses kicked on the front seven.
Hmm.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I,
Yep.
I think the biggest name on left as a UD as a free agent, honestly, who I want because of age, and I think the snap count specifically is the red sleeve assassin Matt Judon. I think he knows Dan Quinn a little bit. I think he brings more of a versatility role than your Prestons, your Vaughns. He's not going to cost as much as those two or Zadarius, and I would love Zadarius Smith too. But I think in terms of cap space, versatility, snap count, I would want Judon. If not, I've got to find a UDFA that I've put a little bit of work into and I think has a chance to make the roster go into there. But I think we all agree, and Justin agreed in the group chat, the edge, the defensive end edge rusher position is still, I think, the biggest glaring need. You have Armstrong, cool. Joanne Jean Baptiste, cool. Dietrich Wise, cool. None of those names scream, we've got to block him. They're gonna put their pressure and their focus on the interior, Payne and Newton, and Day to a degree. So I'm gonna pull up our depth chart just real quick, but ow. But I still think edge position is gonna be the biggest glaring. Oh yeah, Cleveland Farrell, Dorrance Armstrong, Dietrich Wise, Andre Jones Jr., Jacob Martin, Javante Jean Baptiste. That doesn't
Nothing
scream.
special.
It doesn't scream, Lord have mercy, I've got to play this team. That says we cool, we good. So yeah, I think edge rusher they've got to address it here. I don't want to say relatively soon, But I think in the next coming weeks, we're going to hear a name or two kind of pop in and say, "Oh, we got some more depth. Cool, cool by me."
I
Um,
think it'll be hopefully a mix of free agents and undrafted free agents.
yeah,
Judon would be awesome. Smith would be awesome. And
hmm
then, yeah.
yeah. Um, well, that being said, let's get into the speaking of UDFA's, the undrafted free agent list so far that has come out and has been correctly verified. And y'all were getting me on Twitter saying, "This hasn't been verified. This is fake news." It was the end of the draft. I was tired. I needed to get something out. I was tired. Hop off my horse. Pause. So, the official undrafted free agent list as of right now. There's more to come. If there's another one coming soon, go follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. They're gonna be the first places to see it. NC State offensive lineman Tim McKay, FSU defensive back Fentrell Cypress, Oklahoma State safety Trey Rucker, Jackson State defensive back Robert McDaniel. He's someone that looks promising. Louisiana Monroe DB Carlin Vigors. They've been in talks with him for a while now during this draft process. UCLA linebacker Ale Cahoe, so probably Madrano's teammate, and a UCF wide receiver Jacoby Jones. Not that Jacoby Jones. UCF receiver Jacoby Jones. And the two confirmed rookie minicamp invites. Virginia Tech quarterback Colin Schlee, he's going to play both quarterback and wide receiver during the minicamp. They're gonna see what he does. He was also invited to the Baltimore rookie minicamp. So he's just going right up the beltway. And Chris, this is for you. This is for the fans. This is for the people. As of recording, Rice safety Gabriel Taylor has accepted his invite to the Commanders rookie minicamp. I'm going to let Chris and Andrew talk because I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. So, fellas, the
I want to
floor
hear
is yours.
Chris.
Go.
This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted right here. Don't let him wear 21 though. Don't let him wear 21. That's all I'm saying. Don't let him wear 21. You can let him wear 36 if you were to make the 53-man roster. But this is what I wanted right here. I have been tracking this man for a minute. For a minute. If this man is a ball hawker, if he is anything like Sean, bro. Oh my God, I am excited. Yo, please let this man make the 53-man roster by the time the season hits. Have that man flying around on the field. I kid you not, this man is a ball hawker. I'm excited for him. I'm excited, and I'm glad he's coming to mini camp. This man needs to ball out, though, but I'm excited for him.
Andrew?
I mean, he might not even make our roster, guys. Like, he's fun. He's related to Sean Taylor. That doesn't mean he's going to be as good as Sean Taylor. And I mean, he's fun to watch. It'd be a fun story. I'm rooting for him. I want him to do well enough to make the roster. But if he doesn't, I don't think he gets that special task. Like, oh yeah, here you go. You're related to him, so you can be on the roster. I don't want that to happen. I want him to earn it. I want him to be a good backup, third string, depth piece, special teams, whatever it is. To make the roster, it'll be fun. It'll be great, awesome story. But he's not some super talent that we're gonna be missing out on if we don't end up getting him.
Stop being in my head. You were in my head. All right. Andrew
Take it
doing
away,
some.
John.
All right. I'm going to preface this by saying, and Chris, we've talked about this in the chat. I said this during the draft. I have no issue with Gabriel Taylor, his family, his play. This is my opinion. Doing tape, feeling the process, feeling the roster. I want Gabriel Taylor to do amazing things in this league. I want him to succeed. I want him to be a superstar. However, these Commander fans, like Christopher, I don't want them setting unrealistic expectations. And I think they
I
need
didn't say
to.
that.
I think that you need to temper down the expectations. And here's why I say this. His former Sean's Hurricane brethren and teammates, Ryan Clark, who played with him in Washington, coaches have all come out saying if Sean's incident didn't happen and he was still playing, he was on his way to becoming one of the best safeties in the league. With that being said, we all know what happened. We all know the story. We all know the career was cut short. Should he have his number retired in Northwest Stadium in RFK? Yes. Should there be an actual damn statue built? Yes. But let's not also, on the same breath, don't expect Gabe to come out and have a career like Ray Lewis, or have the same expectations as Sean on his way, saying if this hadn't happened, he would have been one of the greatest of all time safeties. And I get it. Gabriel wants to wear 21 in Washington. It's not going to happen. He can have 26 or 36. He just won't get 21. If he makes a roster, cool. If he makes a 53, cool. But the same fans who want him to be like Sean are the same fans who wanted Heineke back. And here's a problem with that. The moment Howell would have made a bad play, because he made a lot of them. The moment Jaden would have made a bad play, you would have heard some of the stands and some of the social media. Start Heineke. Start Heineke. You would have had there. It would have been off the field antics, because the fans would have turned real quick. The way they turned on Cody Rhodes after WrestleMania 21, they turned real quick. I don't want unrealistic expectations and burden put on Gabe to where if he makes a bad play or he doesn't make the roster, something happens to him like Kyron Lacy, to where he takes his life or he goes on a dark path the way a lot of former NFL players do, or he gets in trouble and blows his career out the water like a Henry Ruggs. Look, I want him to succeed. You guys know we don't badmouth prospects in the personal sense. We're only talking about play on the field and how our roster is built. Do I want him to succeed? Yes, but I also don't want him to say I've got to be as great as Sean. And if he comes in as a 53, he gets great playing time and he does nothing, you're gonna have fans in an uproar saying you were supposed to be like your brother. You're supposed to be one of the greats. You're supposed to be on your way to the top. You're supposed to be Mr. 3 interceptions a year at Rice, 3.5 sacks, 38 solo tackles, 58 tackles from Rice. You're just supposed to be that guy. And we've all seen sports. The moment unrealistic expectations happen, the harder they fall when reality hits for both fans and players. So, Chris, and this is a knock against you, Chris, because I know you got high hopes from, as do I, but I don't want to sit here saying, man, Gabe Taylor's going to make the 53. He's going to get playing time over Quan Marcus. He was playing with separated shoulders, which, dog. Absolute dog in Quan Martin playing with 2 separated shoulders. I would die from athletics, genetics. That man's a freak of nature. But, and I'll mention this in a second. And I just don't want him getting his hopes and dreams up too high and our expectations getting too high, because the moment something happens, they're going to hit the floor just like that, and we're going to sit here on a Monday afternoon saying, how dare they draft him? How dare they sign him? Look how awful he is. That's all I'm trying to say. I hope you understand, Chris.
No, I do. I do. Trust me, I do. And if the man doesn't make the plays, if mans don't make plays, then Yeah, he shouldn't earn or not deserve.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't earn a roster spot just because his last name is Taylor.
Yep.
No, he does need to earn it, and I understand that because everybody's got to earn their way to get onto a roster spot in this league. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is with the NFL now, he's playing with different rules than what
Yep.
Sean Taylor was playing with. So in a way, it's basically two different leagues now, just within the same league, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So yeah.
All right. All right.
We're all
I want to.
rooting for him to earn it. I think
Yes.
would be a good way to sum it up.
Very much so. Very much so. Now, and this went on Twitter as we're recording this, guys, and I'll make this quick. As this drops, either it's going to happen or it's about to happen. The Commanders and Washington, D.C. are going to unveil today on Monday the $3 billion deal to build a new football stadium at the RFK Stadium site.
God, please don't let it be a damn dome.
I don't think they're going to go to a dome, but I think we're all excited for the fact that RFK is back in full fledged, and they're going to unveil it as of recording or as of this is dropping Monday morning. So this will probably drop probably in the afternoon, guys. So if you're seeing this, it's already happened. But are we ready for RFK to be back in full effect?
So
Yes,
exciting.
we are, but yes, I am too. But y'all gotta remember, even when RFK first opened up, dude, for the first like 20 to 30 years of us being there, we were some hot garbage there.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, it wasn't till about the early 70s to the 80s to the early 90s is when we
These.
started to do good in that place. And even after the last Super Bowl in 91,
Mm-hmm.
we even went back to being shit while being in
Yeah.
that stadium. Yes, it was sold out for almost every game, but and yes, I know everybody likes to remember the glory years there, but they also got to remember for a time period while being there, we were some hot ass shit there.
I don't think that takes anything away from it. I don't
No,
see a lot of relevance.
it doesn't. It doesn't, but but you got to think about it. Just because you go back to somewhere special doesn't mean you're going to be good instantly right then and
I
there.
don't think people are saying that we're going to be good just because we're going
You
back to
know.
No,
RFK.
no, no.
I think people are saying we're going to be good because we got Jaden Daniels as our
No,
quarterback now.
well, of course, yeah, it's JD5. You already know. I mean, hell, it's JD5.
Come
Let's
on
get
now.
real. JD5 is that mother. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Um, and I'm gonna make this quick, real quick, so we can kind of get out of here and stay on time. NFL draft day prank calls. What in the hell? Okay. Not only which is Shedeur Sanders, because that one's been verified and there is an apology on. I'm gonna get out in a second. Tyler Warren got prank called during the draft day, and Buffalo rookie tackle Chase Lunt, who we all were high on in later
You
rounds,
got prank called?
also got prank called.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
The Shedeur Sanders one's been verified.
Bro, bro,
Go ahead.
bro, I just want to know how they got their phone numbers. That's all I
So
want to know.
so here's the thing.
Look, I
Here's the
know
thing.
it's
We know who did it. We know who did the Shedeur one
And how they got his phone
and
number.
how they got it. The
yeah.
Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, his son, who goes to Ole Miss, student Jax Ulbrich, made the phone calls. The Atlanta Falcons made a statement. Jax made a statement on his Instagram. I'm gonna do the Atlanta Falcons one first, and then I'm gonna do Jax's. So here's what the Falcons said. Earlier in the week, Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of DC Jeff Ulbrich, unintentionally came across the draft contact phone number for Shedeur Sanders off an open iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the phone number down to later conduct a prank call. Jeff Ulbrich was unaware of the data exposure or any facets of the prank and was made aware of the above only after the fact. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, who have been in contact with to apologize to, as well as facilitate an apology directly from Jax to the Sanders family. We have also been in contact with the NFL and will continue to cooperate fully with any inquiries we may receive from the league office. We are thoroughly reviewing all protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from happening again. Standard, damage control, well versed, well put together. I am gonna believe this because I think Jeff would not have known his son wrote down a phone number. Like I think we've all been around our parents where they leave their phone open and we look at their phone real quick and like, Mom, they're like, don't look at that. Like we've all been there before. Chris, don't say you haven't because I know you have. Okay, we've all been there. So I can't be like, Jeff, it's all your fault. I would have made the same mistake. Here's what Jax had to say on his Instagram story. This was his apology. On Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did is completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the biggest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and mess with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me, as Shedeur Sanders. In all honesty, not a bad apology.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna just put my 2 cents in, and if a lot of people want to disagree with me, y'all can go ahead. I don't care. Y'all can disagree with me too. Look, I understand the fact that it was it was Shedeur's day and everything like that. I understand that. I understand that. But it's not like in this prank they were doing something more crazier than just a prank call, if you know what I mean. All they were doing was just a simple prank call. Now the only thing I will disagree with is that you probably shouldn't have posted it. You should probably have just kept it to yourself.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it was a harmless prank call and everything like that. It's not like they were trying to spew some stuff where they were like, we're gonna come to your house, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were just trying to have a little bit of fun and have a little humor of it. The people that are pissed off about it, y'all are acting like it happened to you. So if y'all want to be pissed off, fine. Just don't act like it's happening to y'all, because guess what? It didn't happen to y'all. And let me say this. Deion Sanders, by the way, I'll call you out right here. If you want to say, I'll pull in Eli Manning so quick because I don't want my son to go to a trash situation, then why haven't you done that yet, by the way, of saying, oh, I don't want my son playing for the Cleveland Browns? You eat in your own words there, bud. And not only that, you was hyping your son up to be a first round. Not only that, you was hyping your own son up to be a top 10, top 5 draft pick, and look where he fell. So basically, karma came back and bit you in the ass.
That was not all on Deion, because reports come out Shedeur bombed interviews with the Saints and Giants. But when when he's a second quarterback, and I probably would have felt the same way. Shedeur, you were talking about as a number 1 overall pick, projected to top 2, to top 3, to top 10 to top 15 because Stream's going to trade it up to falling to 29 with us because Cleveland could have traded back or traded up to falling to the first few picks of the second round. So falling to the third, to falling to the fourth, to finally falling to the fifth after five QBs are taken ahead of you. Oh, by the way, they drafted Dylan Gabriel at round three, pick 94. Cleveland did. So are the Browns a black hole organization? Yes. Did we watch the draft video of the Browns selecting Shedeur and you saw Andrew Barry just
They were
yes.
not very excited.
I think that was a Jimmy. I think that was a Jimmy Haslam pick. I think that was an owner
Mhm.
pick. Um, but Chris, I know you're not condoning what happened because it was a prank. But I think because how the prank went about, they said, "Hey, we're from the Giants organization. Just hold on a few more minutes. We're gonna come get you." And 3 days later, he didn't get drafted. I would have been really pissed too. I would have been
I mean, I would have
fuming.
too. Don't get me wrong. I would have.
Okay,
I,
okay.
and look. If it happened to me, I would have been pissed. At the end of the day, I. At the end of the day, it's a joke. I would have laughed about it. I think some other people, would have laughed about it. Hell, you know what? Shedeur might look at this later on down the road, and hell, he might even laugh about it.
He
You
could.
know?
He could.
So
But
who
I
so who to say that he won't? You know?
it's true, and Angel, I'm gonna get you on this too. But I think also Shedeur has every right to not accept the apology, to be furious, because you think if you were saying, hey, we're the Giants, we're sitting here at pick 25, we're gonna come get you, just wait a few more minutes, but they drafted Jackson Dart at 25. And let's say I believed it because I believe they were saying it, even though it matched the area code from wherever that he was calling from Ole Miss, they said he was on the Giants. So, like in that moment, I'd have been like, "All right, coach, I got you. I'll be here for a few more minutes." And we're now midway through the fifth round, and nothing happened. If Shedeur wanted to come out and crash out, he's got leverage to do so. But Andrew, I'm gonna let you get in here.
I don't feel like it's quite as big of a deal as some people are making it. He shouldn't have prank called him. He apologized. It's a great classic PR apology from both the Falcons and the DC's son. Um, I don't have many other thoughts on that. What happened happened. Glad we're moving on.
Yeah.
I, I'll just say this though, for the people that want to fire the Falcons
Oh no,
defensive coordinator, y'all are stupid. Y'all really think that's gonna happen? Because
Are
let's
people
be real.
actually saying that?
yes,
He had nothing.
No,
Yeah,
no.
he had
that's so
nothing.
stupid.
He had nothing to do with
Mm-mm.
what his son did. Like I said, it was a harmless prank. And if the people that want to get pissed off at me, go ahead, y'all can. But at the end of the day, it was a harmless prank. Because, like I said, it's not like they were
And he's
saying,
cutting out
"Oh,
again.
we're gonna come to your house and do this,
Right.
whatever." No, it was cut out. It was just a, "Hey, we're the Saints GM. We're gonna come and get you." You know, so some people are overreacting to this. I feel like the people that are overreacting to this are the people that just want attention.
Touche. Touche. I can give you that. Yeah. Jeff Ulbrich, good, great coach, well respected in this league. How are you guys going to come out here and say he should be drafted or should be cut? Like Chris said, there's no evidence he knew. So, Chris, as Jimmy Oso would say, no yeet,
No, ye.
no yeet. Well, well, that's gonna wrap things up, guys. Anything else we want to talk about draft wise before we get out of here?
Stop hating on it so much. It
Nah.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah. touche. But guys, that's gonna wrap things up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are halfway there. We're sitting at 535. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and takes 2 seconds of your time. Instagram and TikTok at Ballin In Burgundy Podcast. Twitter at BIB Podcast 22 because Twitter hates long usernames. We're gonna have a fun time. Oh, my bad. I meant to say this. We have a new accepted what's the word I'm looking for? New accepted rookie mini camp member. It's another Bruin, which is hilarious. UCLA kick returner, running back, and wide receiver Keegan Jones. So we have like 4 UCLA prospects coming into this Commander's draft class. So they love their Bruins. But with that being said, guys, for any live updates, Instagram and I'm gonna do this way: Instagram and TikTok right up here, links right down here and in the description. Let's enjoy this offseason. Let's figure out how to fix the rest of the holes on the roster. But with that being said, guys, let's raise hell this current offseason. And don't forget to stay ballin'. We will see y'all out there.